everyone. In this interview we are assisting and supporting with a practical perspective in relation to facing and walking and applying and living the 21 days of breathing. Now, we have done interviews with regards to assisting and supporting self in this process of applying and walking 21 days of breathing, which was in essence in terms of assisting and supporting self with walking here as breath with one's human physical body and being aware of each and every single breath that one breathes in every single moment of breath. So every single in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath, breathing with the human physical body and assisting and supporting self in that equality and oneness. And then in terms of slowing oneself down in assisting and supporting oneself in that process of breathing and doing the 4 counts, which is breathing in, hold for 4 counts, breathing out 4 counts, hold 4 counts, breathe in 4 counts, hold 4 counts, breathe out 4 counts, and continuing within that application, which is assisting and supporting oneself in actually breathing here with the human physical body. Now, the misunderstanding that was quite prominent within the video interviews was in terms of only focusing on one's breathing within and throughout the totality of one's day, and many human beings had quite some experiences with that, because what manifests is that one would realize that it's like one cannot function at all, because you really have to put in all your focus and attention as the totality of oneself just to be able to be aware of and breathe with the human physical body. Now, what is this experience that many human beings has faced in walking this 21-day breathing application is that we are in fact separate from the physical as a being that is existing within the physical, and that separation is in fact the mind, because every moment that one would fall in terms of breathing with the human physical body in walking breath has been due to and because of thoughts and thinking and reactions. So from that perspective, it is a cool process to walk and to face in challenging oneself within that point of trying to just breathe, walking with breath, applying the 4 count breath, and not accept and allow oneself to fall into the mind. However, I'm certain what each and every one that has attempted this has found is that it is near impossible, because of the extent of our manifested separation into and as the mind consciousness system. So for those that want to give it a go and challenge themselves and have this experience within themselves in terms of realizing the extent to which we've separated ourselves from the human physical body and how long one can actually walk just as breath and at the same time continue functioning normally, naturally within one's world and one's reality, doing one's practical day-to-day things, going to work, meeting friends, cooking, family, household responsibilities, job, tasks, all those things while doing the 4 count breathing without going into one's mind consciousness system, one will start realizing, seeing and understanding the extent to which we are in fact the mind and not here with and as the human physical body. So how to apply the 21 days of breathing is as follows. The 21 days of breathing is simply assisting and supporting oneself initially in terms of being aware of one's breathing with the human physical body for and within as much discipline and attentiveness that one can assist and support oneself with while functioning and participating and doing one's practical day-to-day responsibilities. So again, many human beings created the misunderstanding within the previous 21-day video interviews that in terms of functioning in the day-to-day living, that was to be just let go and just focus on breathing. This is again creating a separation where one is separating oneself into and as just breathing, and in that creating just a different alternate form of separation where one went from mind separation to breathing separation, and separating oneself from one's human physical body, and one's day-to-day participation in reality that is self. So again, the 21-day breathing is not in terms of isolating oneself and then just focusing on the breathing, because that's simply creating again separation. It is to continue with one's day-to-day participation in one's world and one's reality, and to focus on one's breathing in breathing with the human physical body as often and as frequently as one reminds oneself to. So it's simply as one wake up, assist and support oneself to wake up in breathing, as one is getting dressed, brushing one's teeth, making breakfast, going about one's daily responsibilities. It's to as often and as frequently as possible remind oneself of breathing, be here, and breathe with the human physical body. And if one has a lifestyle that is extremely busy, it's not required to during the day focus on the 4-count breath, but to be here in and with one's human physical body with breath naturally and normally. For example, doing the breathing in, breathing out, it would be like you're rushing, and then you realize, uh-oh, I'm in my mind, I'm not breathing, and then bring yourself back here, breathing, focusing on your breathing again, and then you'll for a while again realize, uh-oh, I'm in my mind again, okay, stop, take a breath, focus on the breathing, and breathe here. And again, it's not like focus on the breathing within the context of, okay, breathe, and then what happens is your total mind kind of goes into stop, and you, again, what happens in that moment is you're separating yourself. You place all your attention just on your breathing, and then your total beingness separates from your total physical, from your total reality, and just goes into the breathing. I mean, that is not what we're saying. When you find yourself in your mind, simply go, okay, I'm not moving here in the physical. Let me utilize breath as my support and assistance to bring me back here. You breathe, take a breath, and you focus, and you're here with your breathing for as much and as long as you're able to. And you'll every now and then find, or even most of the day again, find, oh my God, I was in my mind. Okay, let me assert myself in terms of the next day, flag point where it is that I went into my mind so often, and to assist and support myself to be here and breathe here with my human physical body. In breath, out breath. And then utilize moments that you have with yourself while you're doing your computer work, while and before going to bed, while you're in the shower, while you're washing yourself, while you're doing dishes, while you're cooking. Things where you can practically slow yourself down. There you can practice the 4-count breathing in terms of breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. in 2, 3, 4. I mean, utilize such moments and practical daily applications to assist and support yourself within the process of and as breathing. And this is your initial starting point in terms of assisting and supporting yourself with breathing in 21 days, in being as effective and as disciplined in asserting your application with and as breathing as effectively and as specifically as you are able to. Meaning, really challenge yourself, really go for it in terms of walking your day and walking it with breathing. When you find yourself in your mind, bring yourself back here, breathe, participate within the starting point of breath. When you're alone with yourself, when you're doing your practical daily things alone, apply the 4-count breathing. And in that 21 days, what it is that you're doing is you're including breathing within your practical process of assisting and supporting yourself in walking through your mind consciousness system into your human physical body. So breathing from the 21 days perspective is the 21 days of assisting and supporting yourself to incorporate the practical application of breathing into your life process that you are and what you are in essence walking. This is a lifetime commitment. Your 21 days, your process where you see, for example, okay, get yourself a platform of how effectively are you breathing with the human physical body, to what extent are you still in the mind, and within and during that 21 days you can have a look and cross-reference each day where it is that you still tend to go into the mind, like for example rushing towards your boss and going into anxiety and fear, and you realize, okay, every single day for the last 3 days, that's where especially I went into my mind extensively. Let me assist and support myself to assert myself to breathe and walk with breathing as I move towards my boss's office and stop the thoughts, breathe through the energy and communicate with him with and as breath. And so you can have like a breathing diary for yourself, if you will. Look at all the major points during your day where you really went into your mind and didn't remind yourself to be here with and as breath, as breathing, and walking within and as your human physical body. And that is the initial 21 days in terms of the practical application context of assisting and supporting oneself to establish a relationship with oneself, with one's human physical body, where one actually moves with and as breathing and not within one's mind consciousness system. Obviously, breathing is not the ultimate answer, meaning just through breathing is not going to change who you are as your mind consciousness system. Breathing is initially the process where you're assisting and supporting yourself to walk here within and as your human physical body, to be able to, for a moment, walk out of your mind, or like step out of your mind to be able to see what you're accepting and allowing within your mind, to be able to write it out, walk your self-forgiveness effectively, and do your self-corrective application effectively. Because in your self-corrective application, that's where you change yourself in the physical, and to do that effectively, breathing assists extensively when you're, for example, facing a point of change where you've done your writing and your self-forgiveness on it, and you realize, okay, I've got to change myself in this moment. In that breathing assistance support to stabilize you here in the physical, to change your direction in the physical and how you interact with a person or something or someone in your world, in your reality. So breathing becomes your base support point within your human physical body to walk through your mind consciousness system, and it stabilizes you as a being in the human physical body, and especially within the context of stopping that tendency to rush into energy reactions which stimulate your total mind consciousness system, and to be more stable, silent here in your day-to-day walking within your life experience. So in terms of breathing, take it easy on yourself. Remember, this is the first time in your entire life that you're going to be assisting and supporting yourself to actually walk here with breathing and actually breathing with the human physical body. So when one experiences, for example, one just focusing on breathing, all your attention is just going to breathing, you'll find your body goes into extensive pains. If one faces this point where your body goes into absolute pain, what's actually happening is you are utilizing breathing as a escape point, and you are suppressing reactions, emotions, feelings, thoughts, and things like that. And you're just trying to focus on breathing, and it's like that whole system in your mind and physical is trying to get more energy, but you're going, no, I'm not going to look at you. I must focus on my breathing. That's the context of what happens if you separate yourself, the beingness of you within your physical and your world and your reality, and trying to suppress your mind through breathing. So be careful of that point as well, where your total focus and attention goes into breathing only, and you vacuum yourself only in breathing, separating yourself from the mind, the physical, and your external world and the reality. And then you'll experience pain, because it's the systems actually saying, hey, you're trying to suppress me, I don't want to be suppressed, you must look at me, wake up. So remember, when you're walking, breathing in your 21 days, you're still going to face your mind consciousness system, your thoughts, your reactions, your personalities, your behaviors. You walk and face your writing, your self-forgiveness and practical application normally. The point of breathing is an additional point that you walk for yourself in the first 21 days to get yourself a baseline support point structure with breathing, to walk it as a lifetime commitment for yourself in specifying and solidifying and stabilizing yourself in and as and with breath. So within the first 21 days, you kind of get a look at for yourself, where are you within the context of breathing, within your mind consciousness system, where must you stabilize yourself, where must you be more effective, where must you discipline yourself more. And that's how a breathing diary will be quite effective. Okay, and that's it in terms of explaining the practical application of facing breath and breathing with and as your human physical body for the first 21 days. Thank you.